Hi all, welcome back to more Normandy, the beginning and the end, using the Alone in the Storm solo expansion, playing scenario 2, German counterattack. So this isn't Tuesday, this is Monday, so I'm hoping to sneak in a little part here. Won't be able to stay up late or anything like that, but I might get a bit in and, well, we'll see. So yeah, and I was just, because no gameplay happened yesterday, I thought we need some gameplay because that's what this is all about, isn't it? So I'm feeling okay about starting to do things, but I'm still a little anxious to see if it's going to go smoothly. I get the feeling I'm going to get stopped in my tracks again. One thing to just mention, I was going to make a note of it in the last part, but when I was talking about this having moved across the bocage, this turned out to be the Panzer Grenadier mechanised company. What happened was we moved it to here with on the road with a mobile, but it wanted to reach this hex. This was its target hex, so it moved there the first activation. Then I think it maybe got 2 activations, or maybe whether it. Well, yeah, it must have done, because it wouldn't be able to do this, would it? And then the second activation, the whole intel marker moved across the bocage as using foot movement, because that's where it wanted to go. It moved across the bocage. Again, I'm still not very sure if I just want to feel like they can do that. They can move on the road, or they can move by foot. They can do what they want while they're intel markers. I'm just sort of assuming this is how it goes. The problem with it is, let's just say they moved down this road and they ended up there, and then the next turn I decided to move them across the bocage, so they're now on foot, so they've kind of now dismounted, haven't they? But let's just say they didn't get identified and they're still sitting over there as an intel marker. Do I still then consider them to whatever they're going to do next, I consider them to still be able to do it as wheeled movement, or is that them now, since they've crossed this bocage, that's them on foot? I'm not so sure about that, but the thing is, the majority of the time, the reason that they wanted to move there is they had a line of, they were able to fire at this. This was its. They wanted to do an attack action. That was the hex they wanted to move to, and now they can attack this. So, they're not wanting to do anything on move about mobile wise anyway now. Well, yeah, the problem is they got identified, and then once they were identified, we had to deploy them all. So there's only so much can go in this hex, and this went in the other hex. And that's why it's showing not mobilised as well, which I've got to just assume that's what happens. I don't know. I'm waiting for folk to tell me otherwise and tell me that no, it should be done this way and that way, but I can't really get any of that from the rules. It's not quite as crystal clear, so I think you've just got to assume some of these things are as they are. Right, okay, let's do a bit. So I rewound this. This is the other infantry marker, and in actual fact these should be off just now. Well, not really, because we rolled for that. Well, we didn't roll it first, but then I went back and says, oh wait, no, I've not checked. We've done an attack action, because they're so we're infantry. It was in here. It's an intel marker. The rush. They've nothing in range, so they're out of spotting range. So it was 1 to 4 assault, 5 to 10, 5 to 10 advance. Oh, it's advance. It wasn't attack then they were doing, was it? It was advance. But I think, am I not right in saying that these both carried out an advance action? Sorry. This intel marker and this one, well, it was an intel marker. They must have carried out an advance action. But the advance action must want to get them to a place where they can attack and they're safe. They're not able to get hit by MFF. I think that's what that is. So that's what they've done. And how I automatically done that with the 3rd Infantry intel marker. Done the advance, and then realised that I do need to roll the dice, because we do have assault actions in, although we weren't playing it with this first scenario. Everyone's in the game this time. So, and then when I came back and rolled the dice, I got a 4. So it was an assault action. So we then had to go back and look at this, and then that's when I started panicking and threatened to give up again. So they want to select a target. Now, I'm still a little bit unsure of this, because hang on, can I find this in the rulebook as well? Because sometimes looking in the rulebook, there's the wording for a target on this flowchart. They're slightly different depending on what chart you're looking at, but there it says no, it's target. So it says the closest hex with player platoons that may be assaulted by means of a safety assault. So just looking at that, now, bearing in mind that these are off the map still, and they're going to go 1, 2, 3 to get on the map, so they're further back. They can see that this platoon's finished. This American platoon's finished. This one's not. If we move close to that, they're going to be able to fire at us. In fact, it even says, doesn't it? I came across the rule that says they'll only move with wheeled movement if it's a safe movement. So anything moving with any kind of wheeled unit that brings them in to be able to fire with MFF, they're not going to be able to do that. They're going to have to stop short if they're not going to be able to reach that. But that just says closest hex with player platoons that may be assaulted by means of a safety assault. Well, anything that was round about here could assault that safely, because safety assault means it's not in that chart. Right there. Safety assault means that it needs safety movement, which is fine because this is all finished. There's nothing nearby that can fire. And safety assault, safe movement, hand-to-hand combat and armor support, the odds ratio is 1 to 2 or higher. Well, yeah, I mean, here's the next thing. Do I have to go and calculate that just now? Because, well, maybe that makes me wonder, am I allowed to target this? Am I allowed to have this as a target? Is this not more asking about, let's say, this guy here, or these guys here? Well, in fact, even these would be able to make it. No, I think it's the fact these are going down the road. See, these have got, well, he's got 4 movement points. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, they can move right into that hex. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, let's just say we're activating this right now. It's 1 to target the closest hex with player platoons that may be assaulted by means of a safety assault. Well, I would think that was the case. Well, we'd have to calculate the hand-to-hand ratio, so we'd have to work out he's got 6. That's only got 2, so that would be 8 against. See, I've not really done all this yet, so I'm kind of guessing here a little bit. So it'd be 8 against these. Well, to be honest, they're going to be 12, aren't they? It's the number under the letter, the company letter there that counts as the assault value. So that's 8 to 12. So because for a safe assault, it needs to be. So the odds ratio is 1 to 2 or higher. Well, and that means they need. Right, hang on. It's not that. Right, I've not looked at this. Give me a second. Right, so 1 to 2 or higher, and I've no idea, and I'm sure this will become easier to work this out. It's just because I've not done this. There's the odds chart. So I said the attacker had 8, and the defender had 12. So it's way along here. So 8, 12. So that's 1 to 1.5. That result. So that would be no good. So in actual fact, we would need more firepower. The thing is, some of the other parts of the company could maybe reach there as well, couldn't they? 1, 2, and then, well, hang on, you'd be crossing the blockage into the building, the dispersed buildings, so maybe not. Anyway, because we can look at that like that, I'm starting to wonder if target does actually mean that it needs to be in a position where it can assault. You know? Which means that this is not eligible. It's not got a target, this. There's nothing that it can assault. Even though it's been given an order to assault, it's not in range to do it. So when we go... That's the wrong chart. It's that one. So when we look back down at this now, I think, when it says let's select a target, well, we can't really do it. Now, it doesn't say anything there, but if you see this bit here, which comes from this, can it be reached in this activation? Well, we've not got a target. So it's either no or there's no target available. So I think we look at that. So if we have no target available, then what does that do for us? May attack with MFF? No. May be attacked with MFF? No. And then we come to this one, which says can move to hex with higher divisor closer to target or objective. So I think the lucky thing is here that if we were going to pick a target here, it'd be this, right? And the objective that we're closer to is this. So it is both these, but I need an answer on that one, guys. I need to know that when this says select a target right now, and it says, oh, I was going to look in the rule book, that was it, hang on. So here's the part of the solo rules that talks about assault. You can see from here, close assault. And it's only this page and a half, really, that it goes into it. And this is the assault movement. I did read through this recently as well, but I'm just wondering if this might be worthwhile going over again. I don't want to sit here and read through it all with you, though, but... yeah, it says... Now I'm going to start doing that, am I not? Right, I'll have a look at this while we're paused. I looked at the assault requirements. Keep the following rules in mind when an AI side force receives an assault order. So, I mean, these are quite important to just take note of. All counters with assault orders markers stacked in the same hex and with the same target must move together. This means their movement is limited to the speed of the slowest platoon in the assault group. Any given hex cannot be targeted by more than one company / intel marker. ATR intel markers can't perform assault movements. I remember reading that because we've got an ATR one there, so if we get an assault action for him, it's going to ignore that. An AI side officer may join it, yeah. Subscribing the standard rules, the AI side may perform the following close assaults. It's just the same, apart from, I think one of them's... yeah, the anti-armor one there. It says this assault is only performed as final defensive fire against an armored assault, and it can only be performed by platoons without losses. So there's some maybe restrictions there. So here's assault movement. So this is what, well, hang on, no, we were looking for a target. I was hoping to find in here a sort of more detailed sort of description of what that target means, what that means there. Closest hex with player platoons that may be assaulted by means of a safety assault. I think because that's saying it's got to be with safety assault, and if we read safety assault requirements, sorry, I know I'm all over the place here. Need safe movement, well that would be fine in this case, but then hand-to-hand combat and armour support, the odds ratio is 1 to 2 or higher. Well, I suppose the thing is, you look at the intel marker and it's 21 fire factors, isn't it, Grant? So technically you could still use the 21. Was it 21? Am I just making that number up? Yeah, for infantry A it's 21 fire factors. AP fire factors. So I suppose technically we could say, well, it is within the odds. That works. It wouldn't be an armour assault, it wouldn't be anti-armour. So, and it would be able to do safe movement. So I suppose that is a legal target for this. I'm just not sure if we should be looking at it that way, or if it needs to be closer to be able to carry out the assault this turn. That's what I'm asking you right here, guys. You know, do I need to be able to assault that when it wants to pick this target? Do I need to be able to do it this turn to actually carry out the assault? Because I mean, you could read it that way, or you could read it the way I'm thinking. Target closest hex with player platoons that may be assaulted by means of a safety assault. Nah. Reading it there makes me feel like it needs to be done right now. But how many things have we read that way that we've been sort of saying, well, does it need to happen this turn or next turn? Same way I asked the question. In fact, I think it was Hal, I might have missed that one actually. I think it was Hal that replied that he felt that it should be considered just to be reaction fire. Like, if we're moving up against this, do we consider it's MFF for next turn? Or do we just consider what it can do just now, reaction-wise, which it can do nothing because it's finished? And I agree, I think that's what it's meant to be, but what about this one? Does it mean assault right now? Or to be able to assault it next turn, shall we say? And when I say next turn, like I've already said, if this infantry A marker had a high activity, it could get down there and then assault, you know, in its next activity. So, right, well, let me know your thoughts on that. In fact, I wonder if it's worth chucking a question. I've just not had joy on the solo side of the questions. I have been getting some better response. I suppose I could chuck it out there. Closest hex with player platoons that may be assaulted by means of a safety assault. See, the other thing is it's asking about doing it when there's a safety assault and safe movement and all that. That's all very well. Yes, it can do it just now. But if this guy does move down to there, right, if that's as far as he gets or wherever he gets, I don't know, and then next turn he can't activate, and then next turn the US get the initiative, then it's not safe, is it, anymore? Ah, God. Well, you know what? I think I might go and ask a question. Right, it ended up being on pause there for more time than I thought, so here was me in the hope that I might sneak a little part in just now and another part later on before I needed to head off, but probably just going to be finishing this part for today. See, this board's kind of curling up a bit. I realise I didn't put any plexi on this. It's a small board, you can see, and it's not paper, it's kind of cardboard, but it's starting to sort of come up at the edges. Maybe the heat, it's started to get pretty warm now. So I popped that question out there, and that was, what's happened here? Things moving about a bit. That was maybe 40 minutes, an hour ago, so I haven't had any reply, and yeah. Well, I'm going to get to that. Hal's making a few comments about things. He made a comment about this. Should this have dismounted? I don't know. Looking back on it, I remember that it was a complete intel marker that moved across the bocage. Now, when it then made that move, whether it was then when it got identified, I want to say that it got across there, and then we make the identification later. I might be wrong. I don't know when it was crossing, but I mean, we had to make, the intel marker was here, and we had to move the whole thing into there. I'm pretty sure if I look back in the video, that's what happened. Then when it's identified, then some of it goes in this hex per the instructions, and then the rest of it goes out of line of sight, doesn't it? And that's why that ended up here. But I mean, he's making the point that I was not sure about myself. Does this have to have been unmounted? I mean, I suppose you could say, does this need to be in an unmounted state? I mean, it's across the bocage though. I mean, we've crossed the bocage with it. You kind of feel like it'd be cheating if they were allowed to go across the bocage while they were mounted up. So I don't know. I'm kind of thinking that it should be the way they should be dismounted, but again, the rules aren't. They're not really making it clear for me there. Right, let's get going. Well, yeah. Well, you've got to decide what it is you're going to do. Well, we've left the question out there, and I'm probably not going to get that much more done anyway. So about the target. So let's just sort of say that this is our target. However, this is the closest objective marker. So hopefully it's going to guide us down the road towards that area. I mean, I know that's kind of rubbish, and I'd be stuck if the nearest objective marker was way up there and the nearest target was down there, wouldn't I? I'd have to make a decision. So I'm not sure. I was thinking again that surely it does need to assault at this turn, but then I started thinking, well, maybe not, because this asks you if it can be reached in this activation, and the answer's no. So then it moves it a bit closer. That's what it's trying to do, isn't it? So I'll wait and see. It probably won't affect things because, like I say, the objective marker's down there anyway. So let's just say we've got a target. It can't be reached in this activation. So no. It can't attack with MFF. It can't be attacked with MFF. Can it move to 2 hex with higher divisor closer to target or objective? I would think so. I mean, well, yes. I would think so. Is there going to be safe movement to that hex? Yes, because remember, we're mounted up, and to be honest, there has to be safe movement while we're mounted up anyway. So yes, move to that hex. Now that's got in brackets there that it's advanced movement. So that's highlighting the fact that we're going to move to a specific hex and we're going to use the priorities under advanced movement. That's how I would be looking at that. So, and that's how I'm going to look at that. So it needs to be a higher divisor. Right, where's the movement rules? They're near the back, aren't they? Right, why am I've moved past that? Advanced movement, okay. So this isn't quite advanced movement, but I'm assuming because it's got in brackets there that was advanced movement was to target a hex where it's the closest hex where the AI force can attack with MFF. But I don't think we're doing that, are we? I think that just the reason it's got advanced movement in brackets is just to guide us as to how to, because it says if several hexes are available, choose a hex with the highest divisor value first. After that, choose an objective hex, and finally choose a hex with the AI force may attack with the highest FF. I think that's why it's got that in brackets. So, right, where are we trying to get to here? Well, we've worked out that we can only go down the road here. It can't end up there because there's another force there. I'm looking at a high divisor. I mean, that hex there is dispersed buildings. So, I mean, that's going to be... it just says higher divisor. Well, it's looking... If with advanced movement, it's looking for the highest divisor. So, whereas dispersed buildings are a 4, a built up area is a 5. So you see that's built up. That's a 4, that's a 5. Can't move into there anyway. This is the bridge, that has nothing, that's just open. So, I mean, are we saying that it just goes to there? Can move to a hex with a higher divisor closer to target or objective. Well, that is... I mean, to be honest, the fact that it can't, I can't come down there and say, well, that's a bit closer, because I can't get in there. Because I can come down this road hex here, yes, but then we're crossing the blockage, which I say I can't do. It does say you can spend half your movement points, then once we unmount, we can't then cross, because that's finished. Yeah, okay, that resolves that one then. So you can see there's nothing. If we've got to stay down the road, That's the first one. That's a 5 and that's a 4. That one's... I mean, that is closer, isn't it? Yeah, you can see that's one hex closer than that. However, that's a 5 and that's a 4. So on the flowchart, it just says higher divisor. On the advanced movement rules, it says if there's more than if several hexes are available, choose the hex with the highest divisor value first. So it doesn't talk about it, want to be closer. Well, hang on, wait now, Grant, wait now. See, it says, after that, determine the target hex, which is the closest hex where an AI force can attack. See, I'm lost again here. I don't know if if we're saying this is our target hex, is our first priority to get as close as possible to this? I mean, now I'm looking at advanced movement, which is talking about getting close enough to attack this with MFF. I mean, however I went from that to that, yeah. Man, it's asking the questions. May it attack with MFF? No. May it be attacked with MFF? No. Can it move to a hex with higher divisor, closer to target or objective? Yes, it can. It can move to... well... yeah. I mean, to be honest, these are the closest hexes that it can reach. Because if I come on in just foot movement, then we're not going to get very far, are we? We're not going to get any further than we'd be by mobile. So this is the closest hex I can get to my target, but this is the best defensive hex. None of them are in range, and they're out of line of sight of anything, so you would sort of feel like it'd be better getting one hex closer, but... yeah. But, like I say, it's got advanced movement in brackets in that box here. Move to that hex, advanced move in brackets. We come to advanced movement. The purpose of this movement order is to reduce the distance between the AI force and the closest player force or the closest player controlled objective X. So that's taking both of them into account. Whether this is our target or this is our target right now. Well, this isn't a target because it doesn't talk about an objective being a target. It just mentions it in this box here that it's going to be moving closer to it. And if I get answered my question, I'd maybe be able to find out if this was classed as a target or if there's no target and we're just looking at the objective. Dear. But I mean, the thing is here, I'm moving into looking at these advanced movement rules, and this is a bit I've just read out. But then it talks about when the K order chart shows the word advance. We're not following the K full order chart, we're following the N one, which has got assault orders on it. Well, it's got the assault order. But, like I say, it says move to that hex. Advanced movement in brackets. My take on that is we consider if several hexes are available, we choose the hex with the highest divisor value first. Yeah, I can see I'm going to just have to guess a bit with these things. Just whether they're clear to other people, these, or whether somebody just decides what they think is right here, I don't know. Okay, I need to get this moving, really. So this goes on, motor mechanise, right? And it gets in a medium activity level marker, right? And we've got 1, 2, this is the third hex. So that's half a movement, 1, 1.5, 2, 3.5, 1, 2, 3. So half 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, and then, well, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to stop in the best defensive hex because we're considering advanced movement. I really don't know if that's right or not because advanced movement wants to get closer to its target, which this would be 1 hex closer. It's still in a 4 defensive value hex, but this is a 5. I just this doesn't really feel right. Moving it to there. I can remove this cube while he's occupying that X. I'll just remove the cube, replace it again. It doesn't. I mean, there's no other. I mean, this was light woods, but this is definitely clearer. But whether it should move one hex further because this is defensive. I mean, let's just say there was a woods hex here. Would it move right down to the woods here? Because the flowchart, can it move to a hex with higher divisor that's closer to target or objective? Yes. Is there safe movement available to it? Yes. Move to that hex, and in brackets, advanced move. Advanced movement. So, I don't know. I'm going to just leave it here, I think. But I could see it being here or here. But I think that's only because I'm just not understanding fully how the rules meant to operate here, I think. Well, that's going to be it, isn't it? Right, he doesn't get another action. The Americans weren't able to react to any of that either, so it's just going to be back now to this mortar platoon to move, isn't it? It's just the next intel marker, isn't it? I noticed when the guy that done the Spanish playthrough, I noticed, like I say, he was playing as the Germans, the AI were the Americans. I noticed when he moved up adjacent, not adjacent, but in range, within reaction range of the Americans, he didn't fire with them. Although that was a question that was asked about the scenario, that although they can't have an action, can they have a reaction? And it was answered with yes, they're allowed to do that. So don't know if that's wrong, that answer. Don't recall it being anybody like the designer that answered that. I felt like it was a name that's answered a few questions before though. Can't remember exactly. So whether that was wrong, that answer, or whether the guy doing the video was getting that wrong, possibly. Although it might have been that he knew they wouldn't react because there was other units still to move. That's a possibility. And like I say, I was trying to read subtitles and trying to not listen to what he was saying because it was all in Spanish and look at what was on the screen. It wasn't too easy to do that. Okay. 32 minutes. Well, that's not worth it apart. Can we move this mortar platoon intel marker on then? So 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4 now, isn't it? What did I do the last time? I done 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be 4. So I'll just put 4. So, well, in fact, I'll put the 4 there, and that means 1, 2, 3, 4 is what's going to cost me to get to there. Well, it's 4 hexes to there, which is only 2 movement points down the road. Right, hang on. Shouldn't we still have... markers? See, because... I don't know here. Did we have a target for this? I mean, it just said, can't we reach this activation? What I'm, I suppose, trying to see here, is there assault counters for these? Or does it just say attack? Oh no, there is. I mean, should I have one of these? Where's the one for... Right, the other ones don't say assault. I'll just say target. I'm mixing them all up now. Target. Well, it would have to be the same symbol, so that's assault. Got a wee star. There's one. Right. So should I have this on this? Right, and the matching one, the wee should I have that? Like, on that? I don't think so. I don't think so, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And does that mean that we don't give this another order next turn? It's still wanting to try and assault that? No, that just sounds rubbish, Grant. I don't think this gets marked with these. I think it wanted to carry out an assault. I think it, because it can't, because it's not in range to do the assault, it's just moving into a position. It's moving into position. Whether it's the right position, I've not got a clue. I just don't. Right, okay, I'm just going to push on all. Just to finish off this part. We need to check priority here because we've got a mortar intel marker and an ATR A intel marker, right? There's nothing routed, doesn't apply, there's no 2 actions marker. Up to none of these are applying because we're just trying to differentiate between the mortar and the ATR. None of them apply. In fact, we can run right through this. It's going to come down to any remaining forces. Then we're going to look at this. We're going to just skip on by that one. And then it says AI forces with the highest FF against the closest player platoons. Well, we need to check that. So Intel, what is it? Intel markers detailed chart for this to find out which one's got the highest. Well, the mortar has 14 with AP fire factors and 10 artillery fire factors. And then the ATR has 11 at AP, but it has 11 at artillery factors and 8 at AT. So, I mean, again, there's nothing to sort of say at what one you pick there, because the thing is, if we're going at artillery range, remember the range for the mortar with artillery fire is 8, the range for the ATR with artillery fire is 7, so they've got a better range, and remember the ATR has got 1 better fire factor. It just asks for the AI force with the highest fire factor. However, it does say against the closest player platoons. So the closest player platoons are these 2 infantry companies. I think they're both the same, aren't they? I think that's why there's one up there and there's one down this way, isn't there? Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, it is. Yeah. So they're both as close. Now, although we've not heavily looked into mortar fire and artillery fire, I'm pretty sure they can target both of these, and we know that they can target it with AP fire. So, I mean, I want to feel like it's a mortar because he's got 14, and that should be that. But if you consider the artillery fire factor, then the ATR wins by 1. I think I'll maybe just go with the mortar, because remember the mortar and the ATR A platoons, they can just as easily turn into it. Well, I'm saying that. What can the mortar platoon turn into? I know we've looked at this before as well. Well, that's heavy weapons. Oh, that's for the officer, right? So 2 times 8 centimetre GRW-34s, or 3 times airborne. Why is that saying or? Why is there ors in there? I don't know. Why is there ors in there? It's just they 2 that have got it. This one here, 2 times 8 centimetre GRW-34, or 3 times airborne, 1 times 8 centimetre GRW-30. Alright, it looks like it's 2 of them, or 3 of them, and 1 of them. But how do you decide between the 2? And then this one's 1 MG42, 2 times 8 centimetre GRW-30, 34 motorised, or 2 times MG42 and 1 times 8cm GRW34. Does it tell you in the rules about how you pick between the ors there? I'm seeing some quite a lot of them on the map. I mean, there's one there. Look down here. This is this or this. Do you just randomise between the two? I'm assuming you would have to then. You just do a odd or even. Yeah, there's quite a lot of ors, isn't there? Although, here's the other thing. See, this is motorised and this one is not. So is that. Well, I mean, that one's both the same though, isn't it? Or is it? That's SDKFZ 222 and that's SDKFZ 10/4. Right, I don't know. You know what? I'm just going to try the motor. The motor's got 14. Let's just prioritise that. Okay. And yeah. Right, we need to give it an order then. So where is that again? It's on the other side of that one, I think. No, it's not. Where's the one with orders? Right, I lost that chart now. It's not there. Wait, it must be here. That is indeed. Okay, so we've got this. This is what we're going to do. It's going to have a medium. It's going to be motorised. It's in here again though, isn't it? Yeah, it's in here again. So again, we're going to either have it assaulting or advancing, right? So I'll roll the dice. This is a D10, isn't it? So a 1 to 4 it'll assault, 5 to 10 advance. Now these modifiers just no, because this is still not. It needs to be adjacent. This needs to be adjacent to it, I think, to modified things. And the other modifiers are non-rated player platoons and whatever, or the rush resistance value. Yeah, there's none of that. So a 1 to 4 is going to assault, 5 to 10 advance. 9, right, so it's going to advance then. Well, that's probably easier, and I think it's a more sensible thing as well, because we're going to come all across the same sort of. So that's advance. The advance chart is here. Okay, advance, right. Okay, may attack with MFF without moving. No. May perform a safe assault. No. No, definitely not. So no. So select a target. And again, our target is decided with the closest hex with the AI force may attack with MFF, and divisor 3, 4, 5, or divisor 2 if it cannot be attacked with MFF, or make a safe assault. Right, we can't make a safe assault. And we're not in defensive mode. So yeah, the closest hex that you can attack the AI force, and then yeah, I've still got that page open on the advanced movement. If there's, because this is what we done with the first moves, didn't we? So where are our options now for this? One's here, isn't it? Yes, one's here, because that's where we were putting that infantry unit. You know what? This is going to go here, because that's where that infantry A marker I put it first, didn't I? Yeah. Because the closest hex to attack this one is going to be, remember, the bridge blocks line of sight. Yeah, and this one, we've already got stuff in there. I mean, I want to say 1, 2, I mean, maybe. No, he needs to be able to attack this with MFF though. And well, he's got 21. just wonder if this is a legitimate target. This is 1, 2, 3 away. This is... if that was... How close is that? So that's... We'll count this hex. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because I think that could be a target and he could fire with MFF from there. Remember, it's because it's at range 3, it's going to be halved. But half is fine, is it? Isn't it? That's into dispersed buildings. So it needs to be a 10, doesn't it? But a half of 11 rounded up is no, half of 21 rounded up is 11, which is fine. Yeah, the maximum's 10, isn't it? And I think it does need a 10 to attack there. So that actually kind of works. However, I'll tell you what though, if we've got multiple hexes, this is in the open and this is not. That's going to come to that, isn't it? Closest hex with an AI force can attack with MFF with a divisor value of 3, 4, or 5, or 2 if the AI force can't be reached with MFF. And again, this is one that I think it was Hal said that, yeah, we're talking reaction here. So, well, this is a 3. This would be a 2, but there's nothing that could react to it. So this is alright regarding that. However, if several hexes are available, choose the hex with the highest divisor value first. Yes. I just put the markers back. Damn it. I had an advance movement thing out because we had done it before then. I'll just put it back. That's it there. Advanced movement. So it's triangle. Is that just target as well then? Must be. I suppose that's what they are. They're targets, even if they're just moving towards it. So his target, this is going to be the target, right? Although he's not going to be able to reach that there this turn. He's going to be given advanced movement. So he's motorised, mechanised. He's medium activity level. And he's getting advanced movement order to get to this hex here. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. 4 hexes, which is 2 movement. Then 1, 3, 4, 5. And then remember, this is 1, 6. And this is another 1, 7. And I think he's going to stop there. And then next turn. Well. Yeah, see, I think he can go... What is it? The Whitewoods, is it 2 for foot movement? Whitewoods is 2. So it would be 1, 2, but crossing the bocage for 3, and that would be another 1, 4 to cross into there, and another 1.5 to move into the field. That would be 5.5. So I think he can do it by going down the trail here. But as soon as he moves into that hex... Well, actually, I don't think that can fire from there, can it? Well, it must be able to be, because we must be able to fire at that from there. Did I decide that was alright? It can't obviously cross that bocage. It doesn't. I don't think it does it? Well, it misses that whole bocage, doesn't it? So they do have line of sight on each other, and the reason he was allowed to go here, because this is only a 2 divisor, is because he would have quarter firepower. Yeah, because half because he's not got a reaction marker, half because he's out of range. He's got 18, down to 9, half of 9's 4.5, rounded up to 5, and he needs 6. That's why that worked. Yeah, okay, good. Right, so so I think the mortar goes there, and and it's just not finished its movement yet. But that's that marked finished as well, isn't it? In fact, I've not marked. This should be marked finished too, shouldn't it? So I need some finished markers. So that would have been finished. Again, not... they're going to come off, and then the activity level marker comes off as well anyway. What I would say is we probably want that underneath the activity level marker, I think. Like that. And then a finished marker on top there. And nothing, the Americans couldn't react to that again. Yes, not in that hex there, because this is blocking line of sight. I'm pretty sure that's the case. If I look, that's down the spine, isn't it? Yeah, I don't think that is line of sight to there, because it comes down the spine of that blockage and that blockage. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe it's possible. Here's the other thing, Grant. Could you not do... Well, no, I would need to have line of sight, wouldn't I? I was going to say, could I not do the identified thing? I'm going to say that's not in the line of sight, because it comes right down the spine of the blockage. So it's not... If he was in here, obviously that would work. I get that they've got line of sight, but because he's behind the whole hex, I don't know for sure. Like, I'm not 100% sure of that one. I don't think it really gives me any idea. If I looked up the blockage stuff, I don't think it would help me out there. They're one of the ones that you like to see in examples, where they show you an example of that and tell you if it's got a line of sight or not. I don't know, maybe it's clear to others out there. Well, if it is clear to you guys, let me know. Let me know that that's clearly in line of sight or clearly out of line of sight. And, yeah. Well, this board's really, like, bending up now. See, it must just be the heat. That's a bit worrying, actually. It's not really what I like to see. And I could have put a bit of plexi over it, but I don't think it was necessary. Okay, and then the Americans can't do anything again. I think I'm going to stop there, though. I know I've got just the one more to go and we could get moving on, but I'll keep that for tomorrow. I'm going to have a bit more... Well, I'll be a bit more relaxed tomorrow, although I'm up early tomorrow morning, so I'll probably be pretty shattered as well. What I was going to grab was, is there a number 5 event marker thing? There is there, Grant. So he's going to... The ATR is going to... It's going to take him 5 hexes to there. And we'll see where he ends up going. But again, I don't know, the fact that we know this guy's got to lose foot movement to get to his target next turn, is he considered now to be dismounted? But it says in the rules that they don't use the mounted, unmounted, limber, unlimbered operations. I just think it means that they don't need to spend movement points to do it. They just get to do what they want with that. But yeah, okay. I think I'll leave it for now. I'll probably get this bit watched back before when I've got my break at work tomorrow, or maybe start off tonight before I'm heading off to bed, and hopefully get it released to you. Again, maybe some folk can have a look, and again, please feel free to chime in with anything that you might think or know, and let me know how we're getting on, really, because we're having to... I feel like I'm having to make things up a bit for myself. Okay, just a quick look there, see if I got an answer, and I was a bit excited at first, and then I realised it was just from Mike. Sorry, Mike, I don't mean it that way. I just mean I was hoping for an answer, and unfortunately I got some frustration from Mike himself as well, who seemed very keen on this game as well and was hoping, I think he's purchased quite a bit of it as well, and was hoping it was going to go places, but he's struggling along similar to how I am, and his comment on my question there, he didn't really have an answer from me. This was regarding, should we consider this as being our assault target or not, or it's just, and he tends to agree that everything seems a bit sort of like unsure and very clouded and just it's a shame. I keep getting here and I keep coming back though, so I don't know, but it feels like I'm going to have to just start making things how I feel like they should be, which is not this totally out of my comfort zone. Like, I'd be better playing it two-handed, wouldn't you? You'd be better just doing what the Americans want to do and then doing what the Germans want to do. Take out all the intel markers and take out all that interesting stuff which looks like it should be really good fun, and just, so I don't know. Yeah, watching that guy playing it in the Spanish, he looks like he's having a great time. Maybe try and have a look at that yourself, Mike. You can get subtitles up on most of the videos. There was some that weren't able to, but it's hard work as well. It is hard work. And it doesn't all, when I say subtitle, it doesn't all come through crystal clear as well. You get some strange words coming up at times as well. I'm like, what's that all about? It's quite funny at times, actually, but he seems to be enjoying himself, so I just wish I could get to that stage as well. Like, I'm still tempted to contact the guy and say, look, make a video of this in English maybe, but right. And just before I go, Hal, if you're still watching and you didn't get my reply, he was asking about we asked already, and I replied to him that saying, should this maybe not still be mounted up because it's still on the road? Well, it was that these were part of the same intel marker, and the intel marker was in this hex here, and the intel marker moved from here to here. It then got identified in this hex, and then we had to deploy the company. Most of the company goes in here, and of course it can't all stack in the one hex, so it's got to go to another hex. It can be any hex adjacent, but it's got to be out of line of sight. That's why I put them there. I'm still not clear if they can still be classed as maybe being mounted still. I felt like they did cross the blockage, kinda, as an intel marker, but they've ended up back here, so I don't know. And you could be right. Again, it's a bit of a guessing game, that one. Because, have they crossed the blockage, really? Have they? Kinda, technically they have, but they can't all stay in that hex, so then they've got to spread out. But does that mean some of them didn't actually cross the blockage? Maybe, I don't know. Right, I'm going to leave it for now. I'm sure I'll come back tomorrow, because I do want to keep trying, and I've got a bit of time. I've got a couple of days off, so I'll be able to do something. Still swithering about, like, trying to chuck this maybe combat commander thing. I don't know. I'm going to have my own issues with that, because I've got to make decisions, but we'll see. I'll probably come back to just mess about with this a bit more, and we'll see how we go. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow. Cheers.